All right, mic should be on. Hopefully, you guys can see me. A little ambiance. All right, should be good. Right about now, let me get the chat overlay up. There we go. Everybody here. Everybody, probably. Well, not everybody, but most of us. What's up? Anything goes. Ellie, how you doing tonight? I saw Pam was here earlier. She said she was going to the gym and she would stop by later. Ellie, how you doing? John's touchpad, how you doing tonight? Mike, what's going on, man? It's been a while since we've been on live. I think the last time I came on live was when the war started. Anything goes. I'm going to talk about a little bit tonight, man. It's kind of just expanded into. So originally, I had talked about just my experience traveling across the country, going to the different cities, and what I saw, like on the ground there. But the more I've started cutting the film and going through everything I shot, I'm really trying to correlate the fourth turn of America into this documentary. And I thought about when I first got settled after I made the trip, I thought about really just putting something quick together and throwing it up. And the more I've thought about it, the amount of time and money that I spent, if I don't make this an excellent production, it's not going to be good. So I'm really focusing on like quality over speed. I mean, when you think about documentary films, sometimes take years to make. Now, I'm not planning on taking that long, but a lot of good documentaries take time. And now that I want to incorporate this fourth turning and why I feel like that spring was really the start of our fourth turn here, um, the more I've just said, you know what, take your time, make a good film that, maybe it's not going to make a ton of money. That's not really the point. The point is to highlight what happened back in that spring, how it affected everything, and how it's still affecting it now. And 2 years later, we're still in this crisis period, and I really want to try to make the point that that's when the fourth turn for this country came about. That spring, in between COVID and the George Floyd incident, I think those two things were some of the biggest promoters of, or the kickoff of, our fourth turn. Dion, what's going on, man? Oh, Pam says I'm already at the gym. Pammy, how you doing tonight? Good to see you in the chat. Says yes, I'll be back. Hit that like button. Yeah, if you guys remember to hit the like when you come in, that would be great. But yeah, so anything goes. I am just making sure that, considering the financial obligation I put to the film, that I don't just rush something out. It's really, I'm trying to make a quality film and really emphasize what I think was the start of our fourth turn. And again, like I said, bringing the stuff from the book into it, I've been able to match so many things that, well, you guys know the book. This one by Strauss and Neil Howe. And the more I kind of dig into this and look back historically at the other turns in our history, the more I just can continue to match up between the two. And I really want to focus in on that while adding, kind of my own touch to it, I guess you would say. But yeah, I think it's important to make sure this comes out good. And I take the time to really emphasize that point, because I do believe that was the start of our fourth turn. Ellie says, great, thanks. Having a glass of wine, winding down, busy day. Yeah, it's been a rough day for me too. It's really crappy here tonight. John, how you doing, man? Mike, good to see you in the chat. All right, so let's talk about a couple things that I put. Well, first of all, in the thumbnail tonight, I don't know. Have you guys heard the rumors? I guess there's been some talks between Dane Cook and AMC. That would be great. I would love to get them moving into the comedy genre. Especially now that we've hit the 100-day mark, man, on the strike. Let me put this up. So this is going to be a list. Let's make this big. This is everything so far that has been put on delay as of right now, as far as films go. Chart here. Hold on. Let me bring this down. Okay. There we go. Okay, that's what I want to do. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Films. So this is theatrical and direct to streaming. So just keep that in mind while we're going through this. But all the avatars have pushed back. And maybe we could focus on 2024. But okay, so here's Batman Part 2. Filming postponed till 2024. Avengers, Secret Wars, and Kang Dynasty have been pushed back to 26 and 27. Captain America still saying that they're premiere that in July 2024, so that's good, but been pushed back. Challenger, same thing. Cleopatra, script production postponed. Doom Part 2, I guess most of us already know that got pushed back till March 2024, but I know that according to the people who have worked on that film, that was more due towards, that film was done. That was due towards their awards, the Academy Awards, having to go up against Oppenheimer. They thought 2024, they might have a better shot at getting some nice awards, which they're probably going to deserve because that movie looks fantastic, especially for theatrical release. Fantastic Four back, May 2025. Godzilla Kong, only April 2024. I mean, the list goes on and on. Lord of the Rings, Ex-Friend's Wedding, production suspended. Spawn reboot, script writing is paused for duration of the strikes. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse delayed indefinitely. Superman Legacy, suspended writing. Transformers 1 got pushed back till September 2024. There's a lot. We've lost almost 6 months now of production. And the actors are still on strike tonight. And I don't know how much is going to go on, but there was some things that broke over the weekend. Let's see here. Let me finish up strike stuff. Heard there was also some news that came down about Mission Impossible. Let me put it up here. Deadline. Okay, here we go. Mission Impossible 8 G5, A Quiet Place, Day 1, which I guess is a prequel. Summer 2024, theatrical shake-up due to writer's strike. So let's see what it's talking about here. Following Disney's delay of Marvel Studios' Deadpool 3, that's a big one. Due to the actor strike, Paramount has made it to next year's schedule and beyond. Similar to Deadpool 3, Mission Impossible 8, which I guess they're changing the name of now, that needs to restart production, and it's looking unlikely with each day that passes in the strike. Tom Cruise sequel movie from June 28th of 24, pushed till May 23rd, 2025, Memorial Day weekend. And, someone was talking earlier, I heard them saying that they were surprised at Mission Impossible's box office, and I think it was bad going up against Oppenheimer and Barbie, right? That's a tough crowd to go up against. It says studio will have to access to IMAX screens Memorial Day in a special place, as that's where Cruise launched his biggest movie of all time, Top Gun Maverick, which topped 1.5 billion. The horror spinoff A Quiet Day One from filmmaker Michael Sonorsky and starring Lupita Nyong'o and Dennis Hare is now opening on June 8th, 2024, with IMAX screens having moved to March 8th, 2024. So it looks like that looks like it was gonna happen anyways. John Krasinski directed Ryan Reynolds starring movie If is moving up a week, so that's not something we need to be concerned about. But yeah, some big changes. Big changes. All right, let me put now. SU Ray, what's going on? How you doing tonight? Mike says money's getting, you know it, man. It certainly is. Just smaller here. Get this out of here. Remove source. Okay. Ellie says, I think the direct deal making with singers, comedians, sports, etc., will transform into a more than enough to offset the loss of future revenue from the strike. At least I hope so. Yeah, me too. Look, our saving grace is going to be this Taylor deal that they signed. Not only distribution money, but just because of the lineup that's coming next couple months. This is not the best holiday blockbuster schedule of releases we have coming ahead of us. All right. I mean, we're not looking at any real blockbusters, unfortunately. And I can see at least. There's a couple movies going out that are coming out that, like in some of the movies, like Alien. Probably going to be a pretty well received movie. It's really with Joaquin Phoenix. The movie is about that whole era and the Napoleonic Wars back from the turn of the, what was that, 19th century, actually. Probably going to be really, really well done, but is it going to be 400 million? Yeah, right? Killers on Moon, same kind of idea. A big Martin Scorsese film. And I know MC went to go see it. Reviews said it was awesome, so I'm going to get to go see it very soon. But yeah, looking at the I think I might just have too many things open right now, and that's my problem. Let me close all this down. All right, closed everything else out, so we should be good now. I think I had too much stuff open, and that's what was happening. But yeah, Ellie, I agree with you 100%, and I think they should keep exploring this avenue of signing these deals, right? The distribution rights are huge. I think I saw Boss put up a tweet the other day that we're in the top 10 for distribution already this year just with the Taylor Swift numbers. Incredible. Incredible. Sounds good? Okay. Yeah, I had to close all that stuff out. But yeah, that's going to be our saving grace, really. I truly think, again, why I can't get mad at Adam Aaron all the time is because he stepped up to ink these deals, and this is going to be big for us for Q4, especially with these goddamn strikes going on. 200 days now, we've lost to filming. Anything Goes says, can we expect positive earnings for AMC next month? I don't think we're going to have positive earnings. What did I see? Let me see what I saw, what the estimates were. So they have us coming in at EPS of minus 31 cents right now. 1796 Patriot, what's going on, man? Says, haven't caught you in a while. Hope things are well. Going your way, man. Yeah, they're doing okay, man. They're doing okay. They could be worse. They could be worse. Things haven't popped off completely yet in the Middle East, but I think that's just a matter of time. I don't know. There's so many things going on, man, with between the market and interest rates going up and the move yesterday because of what Bill Ackman said on Twitter. And there's just a lot going on. There's so much uncertainty right now. And we've never seen this type of situation before for the market. It's like trying to speculate on what's going to happen going forward. Like, is Powell going to start to drop interest rates? I don't know if that's even a possibility, because you don't want things going in the opposite direction. I heard PBD talk about it, and I'm going to try to play a little bit of an interview today. He talked about on his podcast, and I thought it was really interesting what he said about the market and about ways to kind of combat what could happen next 12 to 18 months. This administration, they can't afford a stock market crash in the next 12 months. The numbers right now, I mean, Trump and Biden are neck and neck. And I don't think a lot of people expected that. What are we, literally like a year away from the election? 54 weeks. Yeah, 54 weeks election day. But yeah, anything goes. I think we're going to be a little short this Q. I do. I think we're just going to be just a little bit short, unfortunately. We came in, I mean, the numbers were looking good until like the second week in August, and then we kind of just tailed off. I think we needed like 2.8 billion in order to be profitable. So we'll see. Amber says, Amber, how you doing tonight? Says plenty of Marvel movies are coming soon. Yeah, just everything's getting pushed back, right, Amber? I saw Deadpool got pushed back. The Avengers movie got pushed back. I did hear some news though that they're trying to reboot some things in the MCU. I didn't catch up on all of it. But again, I think for Q4 at least, we're probably going to fall a little bit short just because of the content of the movies, the quality of the movies that are coming. There's no Avatar like there was last year that we were able to really feed off of, right? But there are a lot of Marvel movies coming. Yep. Harry Parrott, what's going on, man? Says Chris Christie ate the chocolate factory, gets pushed back till 2025. Man, he is relentless with Trump, huh, Christie? He can't give it a break. But that's really all he's running on right now, right? He's got no shot of winning. Cenk Uygur might have a better shot of winning right now. Sound's cutting out. Okay, hang on. All right, let me reset this mic. Hang on one sec. Is that any better? Give me a 1 in the chat if that's any better. Does that make a difference? Lizzie, what's going on? Gonna have to see if that mic got reset. Ember says, goodbye, Adam Aaron. Don't let the door bump you on the way out. Good, good. All right, good. Ximmy Nations, how you doing tonight? 1796 Patriot says, sounds like I'm not going to be able to catch you tonight either. Oh, boy. All right, hopefully that fixed the sound. We'll try not to mess around too much. MD says, good morning, everyone. MD, what's going on, man? DB Cooper says, has Adam Aaron paid off any debt? We're going to find out in a couple weeks, I think. When we look at the bottom line, we will know very soon. Is it the 8th, Ellie? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Andrew, what's going on? Gregory, what's going on, man? Good evening to both you guys. Good to see you in the chat. All right, let me see if I can get some of this PBD insight. Because I thought he made some excellent points. I just want to share them with you guys as far as what might be coming down the road. Hopefully I don't lose you. Be mics anymore. Trying to keep it smooth. But I thought he made some excellent points. And no matter what his past is, I know a lot of people have said he, ran a Ponzi scheme, or not a Ponzi scheme, I'm sorry, but MLM. He did with some insurance company. I guess that's how he got all his money. But that doesn't mean that what he's saying right now isn't pertinent to what's going on. And again, with everything, we've just never seen anything like this before in the economy. So trying to guess on safe bets is tough. All right, let me see here if I can pull it up. All right. So he was talking about the Fed cutting rates, and that would be worse than a market crash. And let's go and see if we can pull this up and have him explain it a little better. Okay. I'm just going to turn off the overlay for 1 second so we can look at this. All right. He should be coming in loud and clear right now.
If unemployment and things don't start moving, you know what Powell's going to do? He has to go up another quarter. He has to until that moves. So there's a bigger crisis that's on right now that most people are not talking about. The reverse market crash. That's the side. Tom.
Yeah, and a simple picture for you, okay? Step one, the government gave out like $1.4 trillion in stimulus checks. Mm-hmm. Over the next 6 months, and we've talked about it on the show, credit card balances dropped under $500 billion, like 400. Okay? Then they went all the way back up to 900. At the same time, the stock market started running. Want to know why? You know where all that credit card debt is? People bought stuff. Stuff that was sold by companies on the stock market. When they were saying, well, we were getting out of COVID and the market's way up, so I guess things are okay. No. We printed $1.4 trillion. People paid down their credit cards temporarily, but went back to their spending habits, rest open and able to travel, and they spent all the way up now to the credit cards are an all-time high, right at $1 trillion now. And all that money went to the stock market. How did it go to the stock market? The profits runs to the top. That's part one. And part two, I wish we could find it, Rob.
This is an issue.
Do you guys follow how that works? The money runs to the bottom line of companies and the pockets of the top 1% that own those companies.
Right.
Now watch this. You remember you just saw the chart, Venezuelan chart. So go to Zillow and find me any house in Fort Lauderdale over $2 million.
And then, Pat, while he's looking, so that's going to separate like the poverty, like there's
wow, very bad in the Syria. Yeah, it's not a.
So that, and you're saying that might happen
by the way,
here.
if Powell doesn't lower rates, it's not going to happen. So the key is for him to hold ground and not fall for any, phone calls that he's going to get next 9 months about changing and lowering the rates so the market moves because election is coming around the corner.
Scroll the bottom.
I don't know what Powell's going to do, but we will know, to give him proper credit, by January of 2025. It's going to be a very hard next 15 months for Powell.
And so Pat, like, look at Venezuela. They just did. Their future does not.
Why do you think Venezuela finally agreed to come and negotiate with Biden to say we're willing to sell oil to you and we're willing to do a real public election fair even if I lose? Why would Maduro agree for something like this? Because it's public embarrassment on what's going on with Venezuela.
Okay. So just contact here and scroll. They're talking about this chart in the Venezuelan stock market.
It's killing it. The rest are getting destroyed. Watch this here, okay? You know who would want something like that? Guess who would want something like that?
The top 1%.
Yeah, the top 0.1%. Like, yeah, let's do it. I got my money in it. I'm going to be fine. Yeah. Overnight billionaires. The level, by the way, look at the months. Just go look at the months. Actually, look, do you guys really see the chart? You see what the chart is?
1 week, 10.
1 year chart that they're showing, right, for the Venezuelan stock market. So now they're going to bring it back to us here.
Coming to the Emerald Queen Event Center, it's Carly Pierce, Saturday, November 4th.
Thought that was going to be Taylor Swift.
Be temporary market going up, celebration.
Sugar high.
Here we go.
You know the one.
Agreed to come and negotiate with Biden to say we're willing to sue and we're willing to do a real public election fair, even if I lose. Why would Maduro agree for something like this? Because his people are getting crushed.
Wow.
Public embarrassment on what's going on with Maduro in Venezuela right now.
I think
absolute public embarrassment.
Zillow is taking the charts off, Pat. You know the one I'm talking about? They used to have the charts in here. Scroll down.
Yeah, they show it at the bottom usually.
The pricing history, and it goes up.
There it goes.
Take a look. Does this look like the Venezuelan stock chart?
God.
Do you notice something that happened?
This is not normal, bro.
Oh,
but by the way, if you guys want to talk about my house, let's talk about my house.
Let's print money.
Okay, Tom, let's talk about my house.
Okay, to the 13-minute mark. And his suggestion.
It's like, okay, do you go equity? Do you not go equity? If you go equity, rates stay high, unemployment takes a hit, recession comes next year, equities could get destroyed the next 12 months. Could get destroyed the next 12 months. But if you're not in equities, Jerome Powell lowers the rates, goes to whatever, 4%, 5%. Dow's going to go to 41,000, 42,000 put within 12 to 18 months. Yes or no? It'll go like this.
Yep.
Skyrocketing. Okay. So then your risk is, do I stay in the market? Do I not stay in the market? Both ways, it's risky today. There is no path to look at because we've never experienced printing the kind of money that we did, going through a pandemic that we did, going through from home shit that we did, going through two wars that we got going on, one of them being so unstable. This is there is no financial that knows the right investments to make today to weather whatever possible, capable of happening in the next 3 seconds.
You put a little everywhere, and
You just have to
wait.
do that. You have to do that. You have to own a little bit of gold, okay? This is not a sponsorship. I just tell you, the sponsorship is when I'm not doing a sponsorship. You have to own a little bit of gold. You have to look at what Bitcoin is. You know what Bitcoin is? Have you guys seen what Bitcoin is?
It's right back up.
Go to where's Bitcoin at right now.
Yeah.
So he's basically going to continue on and talk about diversifying your portfolio into all different places. And he shows Bitcoin, the chart for Bitcoin. In the last 6 months, Bitcoin's been on an incredible run, right? Here's the year to date on Bitcoin. Look at that. Zip, zip, zip. And guess what? I sold all my Bitcoin 6 months before that at the lowest of the lows. Lowest of the lows. Unbelievable. And the whole point of this is they're saying that they need to make sure that we need to make sure Powell doesn't break on interest rates. Because that will flush that cap so then you can turn your head. All right, let's finish this up.
Other people say, do you understand now? You know, it's like
but I'm telling you, I hope Powell doesn't break.
I hope he doesn't
Powell
too.
doesn't break because he needs to stay. It needs to stay this, and it's going to be painful. Guys, look, not to do a plug for my book, but I'm talking to Chris Williamson last week on his podcast. What a freaking stud of a guy, by the way. This guy, can you pull up his picture, Chris Williamson? And up to this place, I'm like, in the next few, down a little bit. You're too loud. You're too arrogant right now. Don't get too, consumed with your success, right? So today, people are not prepared for what's about to come. So for some people that have been preparing for this, their wealth is going to go up 5, 10, 20, 40 times because they've been preparing for this. But those that are not, they're going to get destroyed. For the people that are in the community that said, how could you say this mortgage? We need rates to get down. I'm getting destroyed. No, you thought 3% was going to be around for 20 years, and your business model is a failed model. Mm-hmm. You rely too much on 3% interest rates, which is fake. We can't have it at a rate like that. So we have to go back and be responsible. But I think the next 6, 12, 18 team, Spoor.
How much, because you mentioned the election, Pat, and Powell, and who knows what the hell they're saying, how much of this situation, which is a volatile situation, is going to affect voting for the election? All those people in the middle.
This is a very, very volatile times we're living in. Dude, Jamie Dimon says this is the dangerous times we've lived in the last few decades.
Not good.
Why would he say that? Your bank that you are the CEO to transact $7 trillion, it circulates every single day. Why would you say this may be the most dangerous time the world has seen in decades? You know what a job of a CEO of JP Morgan. Let me kind of give you an idea of his job every day he wakes.
All right. I think that's good enough. But he said there's going to be a lot of risk, and in order to make money, people are going to need to take risks. And some people are going to win, some will lose. I know I got money banking on AMC popping. I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay in GME, to be honest with you. I've been just doing a lot of research, looking back and seeing what people are saying right now about GME. And look, I think those guys are some of the leaders, the heroes of this movement. But I don't know if the business model is, they're really switching things up right now. I heard two guys talking the other day. I wish I could remember their channel, but they were saying how there's no more physical games in, Walmart anymore, or very little. Target, all the major brick and mortar stores, they don't have physical games anymore. It's really getting flushed out, and that is all. I mean, GME is, yeah, they have some sales with, the pops and the shirts and that kind of stuff, but it's really the physical games and, bringing you back into the store over and over again to, resell your old games. I don't know if they're going to continue to do that. It seems like everything is heading towards a digital marketplace. And if that's the case, I don't know if they're going to be able to turn it around in time to be able to capitalize on that. All right. Hopefully the sound is back better now. Jesse says, Jesse, what's going on, man? He says, the world is truly skating on ice at this very moment. Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. And, this whole thing that's popping off in the Middle East right now, I mean, there's only a few people that are going to be really collecting off of that. I put this up earlier. I found this pretty fascinating. Let me put it up on the screen for you guys. I don't want the ladies to get mad at me, but this is just facts. Oh, not that. This. All right. So this is U.S. profits from war. So 5 of the world's 10 largest defense contractors come from the U.S., that being Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, Boeing, General Dynamics, and Lockheed, right? 57% of total arms sales by the world's 100 target largest defense contractors are from the U.S. 2.31 trillion we spent on Afghanistan. And of that, 2.2 trillion went to the top 5 defense contractors. And do you notice who's running these companies? All ladies. That was a little shocking to me. I was surprised to see it's all females across the board here. Here we go. Here's a good one. 51 members of Congress and their spouses own between 2.3 and 6.8 trillion in defense stocks. These numbers are just insane. $10,000 invested in the S&P 500 index fund, defense, in September 2001 would now be worth 61 grand. I'm sorry, in the S&P 500 index fund, 61 grand. 10,000 invested in the top 5 defense contractors would now be worth almost 100,000. And if you put 10,000 just in Lockheed Martin, it would be worth 133 G's right now. Unbelievable. Crazy, crazy numbers. From 2001 to 2021, the stocks of the top 5 contractors, defense contractors, outperformed the stock market by 58%. And you know who has all their money invested there? Congress. So as they're asking for another 100 billion right now, understand that money is going to go back into their pockets. Pretty frustrating, man. Pretty frustrating to see. You hate to see what's going on right now. All these people that are being affected by this war. Tens of thousands of people could die. And because of the actions of 500 some odd people in DC, and because of their priorities and who is donating to their campaigns, who's lobbying them on Capitol Hill, they make decisions that benefit their interests. You hate to see it, but that's just a fact. That's what's happening right now. What's going on with fractals? Something Ants Trade's talking about? Jesse says, what's up, Mass? What's good? Jesse, what's going on, man? Just watched the episode this morning. Great discussion. Yeah, it was good discussion, right? Yeah. Thought they nailed it. All right, Jesse, I know where you are now. Wellington, it's 4:29 in the afternoon right now, right? Am I right on that? Luna says sound is horrible. I hope I fixed that by now. Tommy B, what's going on, man? Good to see you in the chat tonight. Hope everything is well. Jesse says everything is artificially pumped up by ATM. Came back with some good numbers today, right? Ellie said everyone's fleeing to crypto because the stock market will crash. If the stock market crashes, should we blame that on emotion? Is that just people being emotional? If everyone sells everything? Jesse says he's speaking from an investing standpoint. Families and homeowners need interest rates down. They're the ones that are hurting. Yeah, no doubt about it. Ellie says, I feel sorry for Canadians whose mortgages are not fixed and will become unaffordable as interest rates rise. Yeah, Ellie, it's crazy in Canada. Absolutely insane. Vitali says, bro, don't sell anything at the bottom. ANC and GME are going to have their day soon. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, Vitali, right? I've held it this long. GME. All you need is that one pop, right? And it could go crazy. Jesse says, don't go and sell your GME at the bottom like Bitcoin. I know. It's just money is tight right now. You guys know. Money is tight right now. And I'm not able to get a work visa right now, unfortunately. So that's becoming an issue. Tommy says, believe it or not, but I'm still buying Shiba Inu as well as Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Doge. You know, my buddy asked me a while back if he should buy Bitcoin right before I left. So July. And I said, wait for it to come back down to, under 20. And that hasn't happened yet. You guys think Bitcoin will go back to 66, 65? Is that possible? Andrew says, GME business model is horrendous. When you are relying on Funko sales, there's a problem. But I truly feel none of the stuff matters. Entire market is on an algo. Yeah, just watching AMC close the last 2 Fridays, man. It's like, how is that not manipulation? I don't know. How else do you explain that? 24 the money, what's going on, man? Says, hey, Mass Up. Seems like AA was kicked off the Norwegian Cruise Board of Directors. He didn't resign, in my opinion. Is that true? Was it for DICK picks? Table Rock Guy, what's going on, man? Good evening. How are you? Oh, he says, Jesse, hang in there. Hope you have some silver, gold, and XRP. Hopefully we'll be able to cash on an AMC soon, too. Man, I mean, yeah, everyone keeps telling me it costs nothing to hold. It costs nothing to hold. But, if I had put that money in Bitcoin 6 months ago, I would have got half my losses back. Feek, what's going on tonight? Good to see you in the chat. Says American funded genocide crazy. Yeah, man. It is. It's crazy. And, I made that video the other day about World War III and Janet Yellen. The fact that she sits there and looks that reporter dead in the face when he asks her, the U.S. is $33 trillion in debt right now. Can you really afford to continue to fund 2 wars now? And she says, oh, yeah. Yeah. And what was her reason? Yeah, because we got 87,000 IRS agents coming to get the money that we're owed. Whatever it was, $7 trillion. Again, that was something Kevin McCarthy was supposed to abolish when he became speaker. And it was one of the reasons why Gates had him ousted, right? And that's turned into a complete abomination. But I don't know, maybe Byron Donalds has a shot of getting it, which I would be okay with. But even still, I want someone to talk about the United States first if they're going to be speaker. I understand we have obligations to our allies. and all that stuff. But I'd really like to hear someone say America first, just for once. For once. Jesse says, I am in Taranga, but yeah, 429. Okay, I got it. I got it down here. I got the world clock now going. By the way, who was up here earlier who said good morning, guys? Oh, MD said good morning, everyone. MD, what's going on, man? Lizzie and Lucy, I think I said hi to you. Vitaly said, oh, I got you, Vitaly. Yeah, that's right. Floyd, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Ellie says Bitcoin will go to the hundreds of thousands. Tommy B says absolutely. Lucy, what's up, babe? How are you? Good to see you in the chat. Make sure I got my mods tonight. So Pam was there earlier. Lucy. All right. Amber says population control all over the globe. Are you guys surprised at all that Israel hasn't gone into Gaza in a ground offensive yet? Just curious. And yeah, there's a possibility that Bitcoin will go to all-time highs. You might see, especially now with some of these bigger funds having the ETFs. I got to write that down. About 24 The Money said if AA was kicked off the board of directors. Andrew says it's manipulation from Max every Friday like clockwork. Yeah. Which is, why, like, what was it, a month and a half ago, 8 weeks ago, that I said, I don't know how much faith I have that they're not in total control of the market. Just seems like that they are. The last 3 Fridays in a row. Danielle, what's going on, man? Lizzie says he resigned. That's what I thought. But that could also just be for, the terminology can always be twisted how it needs to be, right? So you don't embarrass someone, or you guys know what I'm saying. The wording is important, right? Jesse says, want to make your money back quick, buy options for Max Payne, right? Floyd says he's surprised they haven't destroyed Gaza yet. Yeah, I think that they are probably still gathering it. There's probably a couple things going on, right? They're probably still gathering a lot of intelligence. You have to think about there's over 200 hostages still there from over 20 countries. So there's probably some international pressure on Netanyahu right now to not go in guns blazing. You got that tunnel system that has been, set up for the last 20 years, the Gaza Metro, which you got to worry about people coming up on your 6 that maybe you're, not even aware that they can pop up from places. I think those are a couple things really that are holding them back right now. They probably want to make sure that their northern border is completely secured from any type of counterattack from Hezbollah, right? So they got to make sure that's set up. They have to refit a lot of their Merkavas tanks and APCs because they figured out since the Ukraine-Russia conflict, with these drones that are being able to drop ordnance from overhead, and some of the shoulder fire rocket launchers now that can actually strike on top of the tank. So I've noticed they're outfitting a lot of the tanks with those cages and the sides of their armored vehicles. So it seems like they're setting a lot of that up. Also, seems like they're still setting up a lot of their logistics, right? I know it's not a far distance to go from one end of Israel to the other, but Seems like they're pushing everything right up to the front, so they'll be able to come back to refuel and rearm quickly. So I think those are a couple things that have put the brakes on the invasion, because it seemed like when everything popped off on the 7th, seemed like they were going to go rolling right in, didn't it? Just the speed with which they called up the 350,000 reserves and how fast those people got to the front lines. It seemed like an invasion was imminent, and I think they are still going in, but I think they want to try to cut down on especially IDF casualties, right? And I don't think they want to see their armor, which costs, in the tens of billions of dollars, destroyed by a $20,000 drone with a bomb on it. So I think they're being very cautious as far as that goes. And I think that's taken some time. Tommy says, in my opinion, it will hit 100K next year. Bitcoin. Yeah, maybe I should tell him to, now's the time to get it. He says you will eat insects and like it. Papa Klaus. DB Cooper says, I'm shocked they haven't gone in yet. Those are all my reasons. I don't know. If you guys think of some other reasons, put them in the chat right now. Why haven't they gone in yet? I think there's some international pressure. I think that people seeing the response around the world to the protests in the streets, I think some of those governments might be a little nervous about them rolling in there and flattening the place. But again, today is the 24th. So it's been 15, 16 days that people have had to evacuate the northern part of Gaza. If only Hamas had given Israel that kind of heads up, right? Harry Parrott says, no speaker, no funding to Ukraine, Israel. Sounds like a win-win. It would just be nice to have a speaker who said, you know what, until we fix the problems we have here, we can't help anyone else with their border security. And let's not forget to mention the fact that Israel has the highest secured border in the world, and they were able to get infiltrated like that. Can you imagine the number of people who have snuck through the southern border in the last 2 years, and we have no idea who they are and no idea where they are? I hate to think about shit like this, but if we did have some kind of attack like that, it would be a way to rally the country around Joe Biden. Harry Parrott says Israel has found out they can't win a two-front war. I think he means to say two-front war. Yeah, I think that's part of it, Harry Parrott. I think they want to make sure that there's no way possible, because Hezbollah is not small like Hamas. Hamas, you're talking 25 to 35,000 maybe legit fighters. Hezbollah's got like 150,000 trained, armed maniacs ready to go. They're 10 times more dangerous than Hamas. So they got to make sure that northern border is secure and that there's no type of incursion into the Israeli homeland. Another thing is they're probably still evacuating a lot of people from their own front lines. Jesse says they haven't invaded because they know the hostages are toast. If they do, they'll try and get as many back as they can and then go in. Yeah, I think that has something to do with it. Amber says Israel dropping bunker busters, then mop up. Yeah, those bombs are expensive though. But again, as long as we're going to continue to rearm them, they can drop them all day, right? If we're just going to give them another 100, we all $3 billion every year just for defense. $3 billion. That would fix homelessness in the country. $3 billion. Barry Electronics, what's going on, man? Says Biden is the last person to handle this. We need Trump back. Especially for the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Especially. Lou's Tits says, Mass, let me ask you this. What do you think Israel provides for the USA? Any benefits? No, I don't think we'll get anything in return for that $3 billion we give them every year in and year out. We give them $3 billion for defense. Yeah. Lou says, do you think Hamas attacked so they could stop Abrahamic Accords with Saudi? I think that absolutely had something to do with it. 100%. Because you might have seen other countries sign on if the biggest military power in the Middle East, the Saudis, were signed a deal with Israel. That would have really set the tone for some of the smaller Islamic countries in the Middle East. So I definitely believe that had something to do with it. 1,000%. Ed, what's going on, man? He says, afraid of Iranian missiles. They have actual missiles. It's important to understand some of the historical context of this Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran triumvirate, if you want to call it. Iran is, I think, 95% Shia Persians. Palestine, Gaza, Hamas is Sunni Arabs. Those two factions consider each other apostates. Now, they're both under the crescent of Islam, right? They're both Islamic countries. But the Shia Persians and Sunni Arabs do not like each other historically. That was the whole schism that took place back in the 600s AD, when the Shia Persians broke away from Sunni Islam. Ed says, I know the guy that does our yard just crossed. Justin, what's going on, man? He says, rally the country around that old and decrepit Joe Biden. Not for people who have their head on straight, but for Gen Z and, the younger side of the millennials and the squad in Congress. I don't think that we would rally around him, Justin, right? But some of this younger generation, because remember 9/11, right? And I wasn't at all political back then, but there was a sense of rallying around George Bush, no matter how you voted, if you voted for him or Gore back in 2001 or 2000, that went away real quick, right? When we got attacked on 9/11. Justin says Trump 2023. I'll take Trump 2024. Doug says we're all going to die. Doug, come on, man. Harry Parrott says the IDF was told to stand down 7 hours. So, Harry Parrott, I've heard this. I've heard 7 hours beforehand. I've heard 7 hours into the attack. The whole thing stinks. Don't forget, BB was trying to gain consolidated power before any of this happened. Yeah, I did a video on it a week ago. Because of Mike Benz's Twitter, where he talked about the LNG deals that are going on with Iran and Netanyahu in his own country, right? They had some of the biggest protests nationwide ever in the history of Israel taking place before the attacks, because Netanyahu was trying to consolidate power within the courts, right? So they were kind of teetering on the edge like we are right now. They were split like we were back in 2020, right? And not that that's gotten any better since, but it takes an event like this to rally a country around you, and it worked for Netanyahu because he possibly was on his way out. And that would have been a good thing for the Bidens, a lot of people, but especially the people who are invested heavily in LNG. Because if Netanyahu's out and you get a more, let's say, liberal politician in there, then that opens up that corridor to exporting LNG from Iran. Because there's no way Netanyahu would sign off on that. But if Netanyahu's no longer there, that could open a lot of doors and possibly trillions of dollars to, like Mike said, those Yankees up in New York and the Cowboys down in Texas who are heavily invested in this LNG market. Now, there's a reason why we blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, right? Now, instead of there being a direct line from Russia to Germany for their liquid natural gas, they have to import it all from the United States, which is extremely costly. And that's why Germany is screwed right now with their infrastructure as far as heating their houses this winter and last winter too. Andrew says, can we please MOAS before we die? It's like, where am I going to spend this MOAS money if it ever comes? Vin, what's going on, man? Says, remember when Trump was going to start World War III? Yeah. Yeah, I remember. All I remember was the adults were back in charge. Or the adults were back. Was that the talking point back then? The adults were back in the room? Yeah. Trump was going to get us into World War III. He's a maniac. He's going to have his finger on the button. Yet, we didn't start any new wars under Trump. And that's why they hate the guy. Make no mistake about it. It's because he's interested in business and not the business of killing. Lou says, yes, but Iran and Saudi, they're uniting because of this conflict with Palestine. They'll put all that aside for the Muslim world. Yeah, so that's what I was kind of saying, right? Historically, Shia Persians, Sunni Arabs do not like each other, but Iran hates Israel even more, and so doesn't Hezbollah and Hamas. So you're right. They will definitely put their grievances aside for now, and if they can destroy Israel. Barry Electronics says, I have no respect for people that use children as human shields. Agree 100%. And Lou says, I have no respect for people who have held people in an open-air concentration camp for 18 years. I agree with that too. Yeah, I don't think it's as cut and dry as people think it is. And I'm not, like I said on Twitter and everywhere else, I don't have a dog in this fight, really. And I know, there's going to be lives lost on both sides here. Some of those guys who broke out from Palestine, that was their first time, ever leaving that 27 by 6 mile strip of land. It's a crazy situation. Fortunato 2 says the Vietnamese had tunnels. Look how that turned out. Yeah, we got our ass kicked. Right. Harry Parrott says, don't forget one thing. If Iran does one stupid thing, this gives Israel the green light to eliminate Iran's nuclear projects. Yeah, that's the one thing we don't want, right? Or the U.S. or, like, I know we already have 2,000 troops on the ground there, but I don't want to see this thing get escalated any more than it is right now. Like Fortunato said, we just had our asses handed to us by back-to-back in Vietnam and Afghanistan by guys in slippers and dresses. So, the Iran the Revolutionary Guard in Iran and Hezbollah are a host. Feek says they are saying 85% of Israelis think they knew about the attack. You know the rest. Yeah, man, I just have my speculation, but I don't think that Mossad and the IDF and all of the money that they spend on defense to have that many breaches across that small of an area all at the same time, and the amount of casualties they were able to ring up, it just doesn't make sense to me. None of it makes any sense. I don't have any proof of that, but just looking at with my own two eyes on what's going on, seems like there's no way on God's green earth that could have happened unless everyone was asleep at the wheel. Jesse says they rally around the family with a pocket full of shells. Feek says Israel has access to billions of dollars in weapons and killed almost 6,000 people. Now millions are displaced, but hey, human shields. Is that what the number is up to now in Gaza? 6,000? Yeah, man, it's not good. The only people it's good for, like I was just saying, the only people that this is good for are for the contractors who are going to make money off the armaments, and the congressmen who are going to vote to send more money, and their lobbyists in DC. Harry Parrott says there is hearsay that this oil gas deposits out in Gaza sounds just like Eastern Russia and Ukraine. Yeah, I mean, why did we blow up the Nord Stream pipeline? So we would be the main supplier of LNG to Europe. There's a reason why Hunter Biden's on the board of Burisma. It wasn't just good luck. Barry Electronic says, I don't understand the lack of empathy of these warmongering dunks. Me neither, man. Me neither. I really don't get it. I don't know how they fucking go to sleep at night. It blows my mind that they're able to rest at night. I don't care how rich you are or, how secure you are in your own pad. To be able to sit there and enjoy a drink at the end of the night and go to sleep, I don't know how they do it. I really don't. Feek says, imagine if everyone just pushed peace and a ceasefire. I would love to see people like Lindsey Graham and John Kirby and Rashida Tlaib get that upset by seeing homeless veterans on the street in America. That would be nice. If they were that outraged for things going on here, I could maybe understand their outrage to what's going on right now in Russia or Eastern Europe or the Middle East. But you're in the United States Congress. I wish they would get so emotional and fired up about what's going on here right now, about fixing our border, securing our own border. Mike says the Russians roll back Iran. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about World War III, no doubt about it. And you're talking about every major power in the world getting involved. They are putting in this $106 billion aid package, money to Taiwan. Now, how is China supposed to respond to that? Ed says Iran can make oil go up to $10 a barrel, end of game. There's so many ways we could get screwed by these countries because of these foreign trade agreements. Just the chip industry in itself could put us back 10 years. Amber says U.S. installed a computer into Iran's nuclear enrichment centrifuges and stopped the program in its tracks. What will be fought with computer hacks in the future? DB Cooper says, I just jumped out of the plane and on the way down, I hit the like button. Thanks, DB Cooper. Yeah, if you guys remember to hit the like button when you come in. Mike says, BlackRock War. Yeah. Yeah, right. BlackRock and Vanguard. Two biggest holders of defense stocks in the world. What do they have? 5 trillion? Let me look it up again. I looked at it earlier yesterday. Let's see here. Okay. I don't know if this is going to jive with our conversation right now, but we'll look at it anyways. I wish I had something ready for you guys on this. I didn't know we were going to get into this conversation tonight, honestly. I should have known better. All right. Here we go. Make this big. All right. So this article is back from 2021. BlackRock and Vanguard face heavy burden of U.S. sanctions on. BlackRock and Vanguard face having to offload billions of dollars worth of investments in order to comply with U.S. government decision to blacklist Chinese companies with military connections. The order, which came into effect on Monday, is this Vanguard FTS? Let me see here. U.S. listed Vanguard FTSE Emerging Markets ETF Index Fund, which has $71.69 billion in assets of January 6th, had an exposure of more 43% of the Chinese market. But this isn't what we're looking for. Let's trying to find something on. Can you guys see this now? Is it up on the screen? Yeah. Tech, energy, digital media, NGOs, travel. All right, so I'm guessing they're all mixed in here, right? All three combined. So we're talking BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. 20 trillion in managed assets. Half the combined value of all shares of companies in the S&P 500. Fucking nuts. They're in total, they're only invested in 1,600. All right, BlackRock's secret weapon, an advanced trading algorithm called Aladdin. Asset, liability, debt, and derivative investment network, shaping global markets for decades. Half of the ETFs, 10% of the stock market. All right, so it goes in the food industry, tech industry, energy industry. 170 billion U.S. public energy. Pharma. They really run everything, huh? Digital media. I mean, they are the kings. As of 2021, at least 3 executives from BlackRock operate notable positions in the President Biden's cabinet. Biden appointed BlackRock executive Brian Deese as head of National Economic Council, and Adewale Adeyemo, former chief of staff to BlackRock chief executive, top official at the Treasury Department. BlackRock lends money to the central bank, but is also the advisor. Also develops the software the central bank uses. Dozens of BlackRock employees were in the White House with Bush and Obama. NGOs. Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson. Their businesses are interlooped in a loop to build a bridge between businesses, politicians, the media, to reduce corporate taxes by redirecting revenue to nonprofit organizations. This conceals the conflicts just a bit. Crazy. Insane. Let me get back to the... Jesse says we are living in a real-life Game of Thrones. No shit, right, bro? Feek says, I think you're going to see some madness in America soon if the government doesn't hit us with some truth. I don't know what's coming, man, but something's going to happen before this election. I don't see the numbers getting better. Let me see what they're at right now. All right, here we go. 270towin.com. Let's pull this up. Actually, all right, this will have multiple polls on it. Here we go. I'll put this one up. This should have multiple polls. So we don't get it all from one source. All right. There we go. I'll make that. The Democrats gotta be a little nervous seeing these numbers. Feek says we are living in World War III now. 1796 Patriot says America needs to get its own house in order and stop being the world police. 100%. Butt out, secure our borders, restock our oil, and rearm ourselves. What are we down to in the oil reserves? I saw our number the other day. And oh, here it is. Is this it? Yeah. I'll put this up for you guys. This is oil reserves right now. As of right now. Holy shit. Look at that absolute fall off a cliff in oil reserves. That is something else. June 2023, and we're down lower now. Yeah, I don't know, man. $1796 Patriot says, not to mention all the chaos of not following our Constitution or the Bill of Rights. Yep. Barry Electronics says we need to bring industry back to the U.S. We need to stop relying on other countries to supply our medicine and chips. 100%. Mike says selling off our oil reserves was a huge mistake. Hopefully, we're not going to need them for a major offensive. And, you know, the one good thing about the United States, this goes right, is the invasion of this country is impossible. There is no country on the world or group of countries that can invade the United States at any point in time, ever. That is our one saving grace, is our isolation from the rest of the chaos right now. Amber says, Eisenhower warned us about the military-industrial complex. Yeah, man, and they have been beating the war drums now since he left office. I mean, it's just one after another after another. How long after we pulled out of Afghanistan did Ukraine begin? What do we have? 4 months of breathing room? And you know that wouldn't have happened under Trump. You know that wouldn't have happened. Trump was signing deals, and between the Abraham Accords and going out to meet Putin and meeting with the North Korean guy there, meeting with Xi Jinping, he was looking to sign deals, economic deals, or he was putting tariffs on some of these countries that were screwing us. He's not the warmonger type like these Democrats and Republicans who have been in office way too long, man. People that are dying in their chairs in the speaker's chambers, people that are having strokes on national television. I mean, it is remarkable what we're seeing right now in politics. The John Fettermans and the AOCs, I mean, just people who are completely fucking out to lunch are running this country. I thought that the progressives, the squad, was going to go in and bring the ruckus. What happened? I thought they were going to put an end to all this, this stranglehold that the Democrats have on their political system. They were supposed to go in and fix it all and mess it all up, right? They were gonna they had an opportunity back when Pelosi was going to get the gavel to ask for all kinds of concessions, and they got nothing. Zero, zip, nada. And I can't say much more for the Freedom Caucus Republicans. I mean, they haven't done much more. At least they kept their word when McCarthy shafted us and took his ass out of the speaker's chair. I'll give them credit for that. But, they were supposed to release all the January 6 tapes. They were supposed to abolish the 87,000 IRS agents. He didn't do any of it. Jesse says, America, fuck yeah, coming to save the motherfucking day. Yeah, we got to stop saving the day and save ourselves. Scott says, we're being invaded. Scott, what's going on, man? Daily through an open border for 2 years straight. Yeah, have you guys seen some of the images coming back from the border? Let me see if I still have this tab on X. I should have it bookmarked. Hang on. By the way, did anybody see that the National Guard took over the Roosevelt Hotel? All right, let's play this. I bookmarked this on Twitter. I thought this was an interesting take this guy had about the border. Here we go. I'll make it bigger for you.
Down here in Panama again, just left the Big Gap. They're building new camps down there, 15,000 people. I sent you drone footage that was from a few days ago. And we droned it about 2 weeks ago. It's already tripled in size. There's no camp yet, but it's still growing, and they're preparing it. Right now we have 3,000 to 5,000 coming through a day, and it's increasing. It's going to at least triple. The president of Costa Rica and Panama were down here on October 6th and announced that they're increasing from roughly 60 buses a day to about 200. And now as the aliens come through Darien Gap, it used to be this is much more efficient, right? The organizational structure is strong. And for instance, now the aliens used to stay for several days, even a couple weeks. Now they stay in for just several hours. If the ones who don't have money, they'll keep them for about 5 days. They'll let them work around the camp to pay for their bus ticket, which is now $60 to leave Darien on a bus, go up Highway 1 and cross the Costa Rican border. They just agreed to this on October 6th, and they started it last Sunday. You can cross right into Costa Rica now without a passport and go straight up on the bus to the Nicaraguan border. This is very smooth now, right? It's smooth from Colombia into Panama, and it's smooth right on through Costa Rica now. Now they're building 2 new camps, not just the one for 15,000 people. There's another one that I haven't droned yet. I've been there many, many times, but now they're starting a new camp. The Indians are out there with machetes cutting down these new camps. Again, I would be surprised if you don't see 10,000 a month by the end of January when dry season is here and the camps start getting filled up. And by 2025, I would not be surprised 1 million a month coming through Darien. That's why I come. Let me say it again, 1 million a month. I would not be surprised. There's only a few tweaks that you need to do to reach that level of intensity. One is just 2 bridges, right? And one of those bridges is it will be built this year, right? Or in 2024. It will be built during the dry season. They build the bridges during dry season, which will start in about January. So they'll build that bridge. And then there's another bridge that needs to be built, and which the U.S. Army could build in 1 or 2 days, maybe a day, actually. So, I mean, these are not serious bridges. That's all you need to increase the flow from, say, 300,000 a month to 1 million a month. They can easily do it now. They can easily do 300,000 a month now with the current structure. That's no problem at all. Or with these 2 new camps. So we're looking at an invasion. Again, the reason I come to Darien Gap so much, and I don't waste time going off to places like Ukraine, distractions, or the distraction of Israel. They're trying to suck us in. Where are these aliens from Gaza going to go? I already see people from Gaza coming through all the time. They tell me they're from Gaza, right? Now, you got to keep in mind, Venezuela, most of the aliens coming through now are from Venezuela. There are a lot of Hezbollah in Venezuela, and they speak Spanish fluently, native Spanish. They got Venezuelan body language. They come across right as Venezuelans, right? And you'll never know the difference. And Peru as well. There's some Hamas down South America, but there's a lot of Hezbollah, and they're coming across through Darien Gap. That doesn't even include the Chinese. I mean, so this is basically
insane. See if I can find this video. It was of the boats. Oh man, did I not mark it? Video. Yeah, I must not have bookmarked it. Shit. All right. Come back to the top here. I do have it, though. Yeah, here it is. This is a great from remember who this guy is. The guy we're going to put up on the screen is the boyhood hero of Klaus Schwab. This is Klaus Schwab is his biggest mentor.
Was a grave mistake to let in so many people of totally different cultural and religious and concepts, because it creates a pressure group inside each country that does that. It was a grave mistake to let in so many of totally different cultural and religious and concepts, because it creates a pressure group inside each country that does that.
In case you guys don't know, that's Henry Kissinger. Trying to spit that out as he's fucking rattling around his deathbed. Now it's a mistake. Ellie says no borders, no countries. Barry Electronic says Biden ran on uniting our great country, and we have never been so divided. Shake my head. 100%, man. Yep. Loose Tit says, look up APAC Massalorian. That's who funded 95% of our politicians. Thanks, Loose Tits. These are the same people that only want their ethnic race in their country and want migration to the West and other European countries. 1796 Patriot says China has no problem flying a spy balloon across the entire U.S. What makes you think that we can't be attacked on U.S. soil? A couple things, right? 1796 Patriot, that we have probably, if I had to guess right now, we probably have between 20 to 30 million guys between the age of 24 and 55 who would rise up and fight, who are already armed, right? So that would be the first thing. No one on the planet can go up against those kind of numbers. So just take the military out of it. If we knew an invasion was coming, let me ask you guys in the chat. If we knew an invasion was coming, how many people do you think would rally towards fighting off a foreign enemy from invading actual American soil? You Work says that was a good video. Very informative. I just want you to know, these are the architects of what's going on right now, admitting right before they're about to bite the dust that they fucked up, but it's not a mistake. This is on purpose. These guys think they're gods. So 1796 Patriot, I'd start. I would say, how many men do you think would actually join up to fight? And I would say that number might be somewhere around, maybe it's less than 20 million. Maybe it's only 10 million. What army in the world could go up against those numbers? You can't. There's no way. 1796 Patriot says, do you think they will let you know that they're coming? I mean, if they're going to invade North America, United States, they would have to, in order to do that, you need logistics, you need supply lines, you need an amphibious assault. one way or the other, unless they're going to come through the North Pole. You'd need some type of navy to transport, armor divisions and infantry and everything you would need to invade a country the size of the United States. So will we see it coming? I mean, as long as Netanyahu's government isn't in place, we should be able to see it coming from a mile away. It's not like Gaza, where it's literally there's, talking about a mile that separates the two inhabited areas of that part of the world. I think we'd have a little more heads up than the Israelis did. 1796 Patriot says, or an open border. Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility, right? We know how many people have come through in the last 2 years that we've actually gotten counted, 7 million. Let's say another half of that is gotaways. So maybe we're talking 10 or 11 million. How many of those are fighting age men? Probably a lot. You might have a tough fight on your hands, but I guess where are they going to get their weapons from? I guess they got time, right? I guess they got time to get their weapons together. Loose Tit says Israel has the Samson option. They stole nukes from the USA long ago during the JFK era. Yeah, I've heard that Samson option. I was thinking about doing a video about that. I was thinking I might do a video on that. How viable is it that would possibly happen? Tony, what's going on? Tony says Wolverines. Wolverines. What's up, T? I sent you a text message, by the way. Lucy says Biden thinks he's a modern-day John Gotti. He thinks he's untouchable. Yeah, they're operating like gangsters right now, that's for sure. She says Biden wants World War III to divert from him and his family members' crimes. He's just like him up. Did you guys saw, I think it was the next day after Hamas went into Israel, that Hunter got off on the gun charges, the federal gun charges that he skated on. Where if that were any one of us, we would have got smoked. He skated on those charges just literally days after Hamas went into Israel. Again, why I don't believe that was a massive intelligence failure. I just don't believe that. That seems, no, that's just not. It's like saying 9/11 was an intelligence failure. They knew they were coming. They knew they were. The real thing that is also probably going on right now under all of our noses is this shit. Chicago's illegal immigrants are now eligible to receive $9,000 in rental assistance through a new state-run program, which includes money to help furnish new living quarters as the homeless population of Americans living on city streets continues to soar. Chicago is enduring a mass influx of illegal. 41 new buses arrived in Chicago, bringing the total number of migrants in shelters to 11K, with 4,000 still sleeping on police station floors and staying at airports. 9,000 for housing. Wild. This was a pretty good takedown. Play this for you guys. It's pretty good takedown. So this is the guy who's running in.
On the topic, I mean, in terms of
he's running PM in Canada. He is the opposition to Trudeau. This is pretty epic.
Strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean,
What do you mean by that?
certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type
I
of ideological thing.
I never really talk about left
But
or right.
anyways, a lot of
I don't
people
really believe in that.
Okay, a lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
Like,
I don't know who. But
well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
you must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
what are you
also
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me a page? Give me the page. You keep saying that.
Turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play to make on it. So
I don't know what your question is.
Then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense. Common sense for a change. I make common sense common in this country. We don't have any common sense in the current government. The guy prints $600 billion, grows our money supply by 32% in 3 years. That's growing the money 8 times faster than the economy. No wonder we have the worst inflation in 4 decades. I'm going to cap spending, cut waste, so that we can balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. You'll want to be able to pay your mortgage again? You want to be able to afford rent? Then you have to vote for Pierre Poilievre, because I'm the only one with a common sense plan that will bring back the buying power of your paycheck.
Ellie says epic. That was epic, Ellie. Was epic. T says, sorry, missed a live earlier. Was trying to get a video out. Editing issues. What are you doing a video on, T? Harry Parrott says, what Kissinger stated isn't new when it comes to invasion of a country. This isn't a WEF idea. It's a Rothschild idea. This is how the modern state of Israel came about in 47-48. Yep, but I was just saying, Harry Parrott, it's in their manifesto, right? The original, the Club of Rome, and the original foundings of WEF were all on this. I forget who it was the other day that was in the chat that brought up the, I believe it's Clovid Piven strategy. Yeah. Which is, I think, what's probably going on here right now, what we're seeing. And this was part of Kissinger's plan. Here we go. I'll put this right up on the screen. All right. Oh, come on, baby. Don't fail me now. Doing so good. All right, here we go. All right, so this was Kissinger's line here. Said, today's Americans would be outraged if UN troops entered Los Angeles to restore order. Tomorrow they will be grateful. This is especially true if they were told there was an outside threat from beyond, whether real or promulgated, that threatened our very existence. It is then that all peoples of the world will pledge with world leaders to deliver them from this evil. The one thing every man fears is the unknown. When presented with this scenario, individual rights will be willingly relinquished for the guarantee of their well-being granted to them by their world government. That was Henry Kissinger's address to the Bilderbergs at their meeting in France in May 21st of 1992. All right, let me give you guys a breakdown of this strategy here. See if I can find Okay. Here we go. I'll put this up on the screen as well. All right, so this is the Cloward Piven strategy. It was written in 1966 by a pair of radical socialist Columbia University professors, Richard Andrew Cloward and Francis Fox Piven. Their plan was to overburden government systems, welfare, education, healthcare, and law enforcement by reducing employment with overregulation leading to outsourced jobs and increasing the welfare state, mass third world migration of unskilled labor to the point of social and economic crisis, at which time America or any nation, think about Europe, would be forced to accept a socialist communist state to save ourselves from the orchestrated chaos. America is now 20 trillion. Try 33. America is now $33.5 trillion in debt. Illegals are costing U.S. taxpayers. That's number's got to be up by now. $100 billion per year. Our middle class has been decimated, and poverty is on the rise. That was all going on until Trump was elected. He ran on Make America Great Again. Forget about the globalism. No more, we're paying for everything. Everyone pay their fair share. It's clear to see why these people do not want him in power. Oh, Tony says Wolverine's Ren Dahl movie. Got it. Got connection now, T. Scott says Ukraine and Israel are distractions from the invasion of the U.S. People need to wake up. $17.96 Patriot says, never say never, brother. Unlikely, but not possible. Yeah. Here's my thinking on that a little bit, right? If we're talking about all these military age men who have crossed over to the country right now, the only thing that could really separate us, because let's just assume that they have some way to arm themselves, then you're talking about what would possibly be our saving grace. I think all these fighters from foreign nations with different ideas, this is probably what's maybe putting the brakes on World War III in the Middle East right now, because of these different factions and their different ideas on how they want things run. I mean, even within Hamas itself, right? So I think maybe the one thing that would give us a lot of strength would be our willingness to fight for our own ground and our families and everything else, where these guys, would they have the willingness to die? I guess if they have no other option, right? Who wants it more? Lose Tit says, what's the connection between all these problems we're seeing? I don't think there's, I mean, to blame it on any one, because these people come from some different backgrounds. Some of them, especially when you're talking about everyone in Congress right now, some of them are warmongers. Some of them are settling old scores, right? Some of them are still delusional and think that Russia stole the 2016 election. I mean, you got a lot of different ideas and why these people are holding these grudges still, and why they are voting the way that they do. It's amazing to me, though, when Zelensky goes on his world tour and you see no house is divided. Every parliament, every Congress is in unison, clapping like a bunch of seals. You won't see that for anything else but war. The only thing. Scott says, have you heard Congress talking about the invasion of the USA recently? Nope. I'd like to have whoever's going to be the new speaker, I'd like that to come first. I doubt we're going to get that, but it would be nice. Would be nice. Yeah, I think that was Obama. Yeah, who was on that picture? I was too busy reading. But this strategy's been out since the 60s, like it said in that little piece there. Let me put it back up again. Yeah. Yep. Remember, the Democrats used to be, at least they talked a big game about closing down the border, and, they were all about the unions and the American blue-collar worker, right? Until they realized that that wasn't going to win them votes anymore. And you have to import a new demographic of voters. I think the writing is on the wall for them. Mike says, how long before draft? I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to come down to a draft. I don't know how wide this conflict could spread is the problem. If Iran and the Saudis get involved, that brings Russia and probably other factions into this fight. Then you're talking about NATO versus the rest of the world, kind of. Or, maybe you throw in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, a couple other countries maybe that. But yeah, you're looking at another worldwide conflict, which is almost unimaginable in 2023, but we are on the precipice of it right now. We are. And, all I heard leading up to the 2016 election was Trump was the madman, but turns out he's actually the businessman, which you think would be good for everyone, right? Like Congress can't get behind that, and they can't. You guys see where all their money's invested. Here we go. There's our numbers for Congress. I'll make that bigger. It's on both sides. It is on both sides. Who are the candidates for speaker right now? Any of them make this list? Mike Johnson just got nominated for speaker. So we got Donalds, Mike Johnson, Donalds, Green, Williams, and Fleischman. Green's number 2. So you know what he's going to be voting for. Let's see. Who else up here? Where are those names again? Green, Johnson, Williams, and Fleischman. Mark as war stock value. Man, we do not want him getting into office. He's going to be gung-ho. It seems like they got 85 for Johnson in this last, 32 for Donalds, 23 for Green, 21 for Rob, 10 for Chuck Fleischman, 30 votes were cast for people other than declared candidates. It looks like, okay, so Green and Williams have dropped out. So it's just Johnson and Donalds now. House Republicans have selected Mike Johnson as their next speaker nominee following Johnson's win on the secret ballot. What is with these secret ballots? Republicans are holding a roll call vote what's with the behind closed doors to gauge whether he can secure the 217 votes needed to win the gavel. I mean, it's already a shit show. What is the difference? Let's just lay it out on the table at this point. House Speaker designee Mike Johnson survived a key roll call vote Tuesday night to move him a step closer to clinching the gavel, an abrupt shift after it had earlier appeared his bid was collapsing. GOP members who had been opposed to Johnson's bid voted present, and the Louisiana Republican prevailed. There were 3. Johnson said he would be speaking with those who voted. I'll be working with them tonight, he said. Lawmakers will head to the House floor on Wednesday to vote. All right, so that will be tomorrow. Man. T, you did both video and Lucid? I commented on your Twitter on the Lucid. Was it Lucid? Yeah, on your Lucid video. Loose Tit says AIPAC. I will definitely look that up. I got it written down. Lucy says Democrats are trying to bring in as many illegals as fast as they can to get them to give them their votes because they are losing the Black and legal Hispanic community voters. Yeah, they are they are losing them in droves right now. You can see it all over social media. They are desperate. 1796 Patriot says, could that spy balloon have sprayed some virus/radioactive material or other that made the majority of us, well, we could, a lot of us might have it in our system already right now with that experimental vaccine. I don't even know if they need to do that much. I saw people today getting the shots. I'm like, this is crazy. You're still putting this poison in your body. And they got a lot of younger people to take those shots, right? 1796 Patriot. A lot of younger people. Someone said that unvaccinated sperm was going to be highly sought after very soon. That might be my ticket out of here. Ellie says, what world are we living in? On news, pilot takes magic mushrooms, tries to crash plane. I saw that in Air Alaska. What a nutbag. But yeah, 1796 Patriot. I don't know that they even need to go that far. They could have the answer already in what percentage vaccinated? Like what, 50%? 60 or something like that? Could already be lingering in the shadows, just waiting for something to activate it. Yeah, 1796 Patriot. I think I gotta separate. I was talking about like an amphibious invasion. I should correct myself. That's what I meant would be extremely difficult. Would be some type of amphibious landing by another country. But there are other ways to wage warfare. Doesn't need to be, like you said, doesn't need to be a physical assault, right? Mike says Pfizer boy 87. Yeah, right. Hey, as long as this girl keeps making songs and signing with AMC, he can shoot himself up wherever he wants. Just keep her happy, please. Mike says bring back the mean tweets. I know it's really amazing that the things people were getting upset about from 2016 to 2020 that got people all flustered and riled up. And look where we are now. Man. It's nuts. Nuts. All right, we just went past the 2-hour mark. It's just about 10 here. I'm going to probably sign off, get some dinner, some food in me. Hopefully this was a good live stream for you guys. We got to talk out some issues. Seems like we know who the enemy is. At least where they're coming from. But yeah, everybody be safe out there, right? Watch your backs. Everything's very volatile right now. The market, people's emotions, and there's some nutbags out there. And you know, don't forget about all those people who came into the country very, very recently who might be looking to settle a score or waiting on directives from their old country. 1796 Patriot says, I wasn't being clear as I should have been either. Main thing is we're on the same team. Yeah, that's all I need to make sure. As long as we're on the same team, bro, that's all I'm worried about. We can plan later, but I just need to know who has my back out there. Mike, God bless you too, man. Thanks for stopping in and hanging. Appreciate you. Ellie, you have a great night too. Thanks for the support in the channel. Thank you guys so much. If you remember on your way out, hit the like button. That would be awesome. We'll reconvene very soon. I'm sure there's going to be a lot to talk about. So, Mike. All right, man. And 17 says, thanks, Mass. Good to have a discussion. Yeah, man, it's good we talk these things out. And look, I learn something all the time when I come on and do a live stream. I always find out some new thing that I'd never heard of before that these maniacs right now who are in power are trying to impose on us. It's like never ending. So I appreciate you guys for all the feedback and the info and the heads ups. All right, guys, we'll talk soon. Maybe what's tonight? Tuesday? Probably Friday night. Hopefully we have a good week for AMC in the market. We were up what today? I saw at one point we were up 5%. Finished up just under 2% today. 933. And Palantir still will not come down, huh? GME was up. A lot of green here, except for Disney. Disney couldn't pull a green day, man. All this green and Disney couldn't do it. That's rough, Disney. Get it together, mouse. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all coming by and supporting. Thanks to my mods tonight. I saw Pam was in here. Lucy was in here. I think Andrew's one of my mods. Thank you, guys. Tony, I'll talk to you soon. Everybody else, have a great night. Love you guys. Appreciate all the support. Night.